Clayton.
And this is Avis Carter.
We are FashAZON, where we showcase up-and-coming designers. We are so happy you decided to join us. You could have been doing anything with your time. Thank you for spending time with us. Nurse, I need a nurse. Matter of fact, we have a nurse in the building, Marie Antonette. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. So you're into fashion. You have not always been into fashion. Tell me about that.
Well, I've actually always loved fashion since I was 2 or 3, as long as I could match things. So I didn't start professionally doing it until recently, probably in the last 18 months. But I started off as a nurse. So after high school, I went to college, became a nurse, worked as a nurse, then went back to school and became a nurse anesthetist.
And what is that? I mean, people, I know, ask you that all the time.
A nurse anesthetist is basically a nurse practitioner that administers anesthesia to put people to sleep for surgeries. So we work closely with anesthesiologists. A lot of times people think that it's only anesthesiologists, but it's a team, and we have anesthesiologists, and you have nurse anesthetists, and you also have anesthesia assistants, AA. So that's a whole collective of anesthesia providers.
So you're saying you put people to sleep?
I do. I do.
And so even with putting people to sleep, tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, it's a big responsibility. It took a lot of schooling. I went back to school. I had to stop working, and I went to school for 28 months to do that. And now I've been in the profession probably 7 years or so. But I love doing it. But I love fashion also, so
is there someone that inspired you in the medical field, or was your mom or someone in that
Well,
field?
I knew I'd probably always go into healthcare. My mom worked in nursing homes when I was younger, so I used to go up there and volunteer with that. So I always had exposure to healthcare, and so I ended up going to nursing school, and then I wanted more from that. I wanted some more autonomy, and nurse anesthesia, nurse anesthetist, that role provides nurses with that autonomy. So that's what I went to school to do.
Wow. Okay.
That's amazing. And so even you said I went to school. And so what schools did you attend?
So undergrad, I went to University of Tampa. Okay. So I'm born and raised in Tampa. And when I went back to school, I went to, it's called Adventist University now. But at the time I went, it was Florida Healthcare College. And so, which is in Orlando.
So you grew up in Tampa?
Grew up in Tampa.
What was that like growing up in Tampa and going to school there?
That's interesting you say that, because I didn't know the culture of Tampa until I moved to Atlanta. So I didn't know. So once I moved out of Tampa, then I realized the culture of Tampa, which is just, I don't know, it's like fun. Cuban sandwiches, devil crabs. A lot of people don't know about that, but people from Tampa know what I'm talking about.
Devil crabs. So you already know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were missing that, the culture.
I miss the food, yes.
Yeah. And the weather, is that?
No, they can keep the sun. No, I don't miss that much. So I know people love the beach and all that, but I was okay with that.
Okay. Wow. And so even when I think about like your beauty and what you're doing, it's like, how would you encourage someone to walk the runway or to live their dream?
Well, it can be done. I feel like at this point in my life, I'm doing it. You know, I went to school, I got my profession that actually helps to fund what I'm doing currently.
Yes.
And so you can do it. If you want it, you can do it.
So let's dig a little deeper about the medical field, because I'm sure you said that, you know, you have people's life at your hand, at your fingertip. And so if you're tired, do you still go in? What does that day look like for you?
Oh, yeah. That if you're tired, you're still going in. But you treat everybody like your family. For me. Right. So whoever it is, I'm going to provide them the best care, just like if it was my mom, sibling, dad. That's just what I do. Like at that time that you're asleep, I'm protecting you.
Wow.
Like, you know, so that's the role.
Okay. And so even with the COVID situation, how have things changed with you in the hospital?
For me, it hasn't, because you always supposed to protect yourself in the hospital.
Right.
So you never know what's coming through the door. You never know anybody's history for sure. They can tell you, but it might be some things they don't know. So we always wear masks. We always wash our hands. We always wear gloves. So COVID for me didn't change because I always practiced that.
Right, right. And so even when you go from medical, and so tell me about your dress in medical, because I know it has to be quiet.
Oh, no. Listen, that's when I'm the most relaxed. No, I just take my shower, get up, and put those scrubs on, and I can just relax.
Not just scrubs.
But
come on,
I do like cute sneakers, but that's it.
And so cute sneakers to match your eyeliner.
No, I don't do that.
No.
So you're no makeup,
I don't.
nothing, just scrubs, tennis shoes.
That's it. And the cat is not. Oh, I'll get my nails done, because that's the most thing that might show. But we wear scrub hats, masks. No, I don't do it. I wait for the weekend.
Wow. Okay. So do people in your coworkers, do they know that you're?
Yeah. When I was at the when I worked in the hospital in Tampa, they knew that I had this fashion thing going on. Like if we had Christmas parties or stuff like that. But I used to kind of like. I want to kind of hide that from patients, because I want to make sure you take me serious. Sometimes I feel like you might not be taken serious.
Right.
And you're trying to be so cutesy, walk around. So I try not to do that.
Did they ever tell you you're in the wrong profession?
I have been told.
I've been told that too.
I have been told that, but I still love it.
And so even before we go into the next session, and there may be some young girls that want to go into the medical field, what advice could you give them?
If they truly want to do it and that's where their heart is at, just go ahead and do it. It's not easy. It's a lot of things. That I had a baby going into nursing school, and then when I went to anesthesia school, I was a single mom. So, but if you really want to do it, it doesn't matter what it looked like. You just keep going. It works itself out. You just put one foot in front of the other, and you keep going. It'll work out.
And how much time did you have to spend? Because having a baby is not easy. So I think if having a baby is not easy, those girls who don't have a baby, it should be more easier. Do you think?
I would think so. But I think for me, I feel like the more responsibility you have, it forces you to sit down and get things done. Like if you have a little bit too much free time, you might be a little lax, and I'll study for that later. Like you don't have time for that, because you got to do this with your child, you got to do this. So you're on a stricter schedule. But I mean, it should be easier for those who don't have a responsibility.
That's really great. If I was in the hospital and had to go under, I would want you to be my anesthetist. When we come back, we will be talking about going from the medical field into the fashion arena. Thank you. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are talking to Marie Antonette. We are getting ready to talk about fashion. You have gone from the medical field and just eased your way right into the fashion. How did that happen?
Well, I haven't left the medical field yet, so I still work full time doing that. But I've always loved fashion. It's just been a part of me since a baby, probably fresh out the womb, I don't know, but it's been a part of me a very long time. And so I just finally decided to go for it as far as a business. So I created my brand, Marie Antoinette, which is my middle name, and I thought it was catchy. And some people may think that I was named after the Queen, but I wasn't, or that came from the Queen. Right. It's a combination of my grandmother's middle name and my aunt's middle name. And so Marie Antoinette is my middle name. And so that's what I decided to name my business. And it's a fashion business. So I just style and I enjoy it. It keeps me up at night, but in a good way, because I just love putting looks and outfits together.
And you look amazing. We're loving this outfit you have on here.
Thank you so much.
So,
Thank you.
And so even with working a full-time job and then going to work, working, where do you find the energy to continue on with your business?
Well, it drives me, so I automatically have the energy for it. Like sometimes it gets tiring as far as putting things together. Like I put a fashion show together in the past, and I'm working on one currently. But the little nuances that go along with that can get exhausting sometimes. But I love it so much, so I'm still going to do it.
And so you say that you're putting together a fashion show.
Yes.
And so even with putting together a fashion show, how many models are you expecting or interviewing for?
So I had a casting call, and I want a total of 12.
Okay.
And right now I have 10, so I'm looking to get 2 more. And this one will be for men. It's a menswear fashion show.
Okay.
My first one was for women.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm excited about it.
And where will it be launched?
It'll be in Atlanta.
Okay.
It's called Legend Menswear Fashion Show. It's kind of themed off of Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome with Mel Gibson and Tina Turner. So it has that vibe, that grungy, masculine energy.
Nice.
Yeah.
And when is that?
April 11th.
All right. Well, congratulations and
Thank
good
you.
luck on that.
Thank you.
When you mentioned a fashion show, I myself am a boutique owner, and I've had a fashion show, and it does give you a drive and the passion of actually putting it together.
Yes.
No matter how many models you have.
Correct.
So I understand that what you're saying, and you're having 12.
Yes.
Okay, so are you gonna have like 2, 3 outfits?
No, so I like to keep it. I like to basically mix art. So I think fashion is an art.
Yes.
Music is an art.
Yes.
Right.
Food is an art when you have a chef that
Yes.
can make things look nice.
Awesome.
And so I basically mix that together. So it's driven by the fashion, but I have like a performance, and the set is always nice, and so it's just a whole experience.
Let's talk about the food.
That's
Girl, we always got to talk about the food. Okay, so what food are you going to have on the menu?
I don't know. Okay, so I can tell you what I had at my last one. I'm still thinking about what I'm going to have at this one. So at my last fashion show, that was, it was called Driving You Wild. So it was like animalistic, a lot of animal print clothing. Yeah. And so kind of got some African vibe to it. Right. So I had suya chicken on skewers. Ooh, and then we had crab cakes. Okay. Yeah. And I think it was like macaroni and cheese bites. It was like hors d'oeuvres, not like a plate of food, but it's just enough to keep people wanting more and to come to the next show.
And they will come to the next show because when you have food, people will come.
That's right. So that was the type of food, and wine and things like that.
Nice. And so do you do it all by yourself or do you have help?
The help, I have help. And I don't mean the help. Let me take that back. I do have help. That didn't sound right. I do have help, but my help is mainly my family. Okay. My husband, my sisters, friends. Yes.
And so you have a great support system.
I do.
And so even when you lived in Florida, so you have a great support system in Atlanta and in Florida?
Well, they fly up sometimes from Florida. So I don't know a lot of people in Atlanta. Okay. Right. Okay. So mainly my help comes from family that's in Florida. Mm-hmm. They'll fly up and help me.
Nice. Mm-hmm. That's beautiful.
And so I've heard that having a fashion show is not an easy task with juggling everything that you have to do. So what is the hardest thing that you had to overcome when presenting and running your fashion show?
I think getting everybody on one accord and them understanding my processes without feeling like I'm being too much, because I like things done a certain way and in a certain order. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's my brand and it has my name on it, so it needs to go the way I want it to go.
That's correct.
And so, so I just pick people that supports that. You know what I mean? And that I can also delegate tasks to, and I can trust that they're going to execute it the way I want it done. So that's what was hard, and that's how I overcome it.
And so have you ever heard, because I heard you say you may be a little bit too much. Have you ever heard the term, oh, she's extra?
I haven't heard it, but I'm sure they say it, but I don't care.
That's right, girl.
I know it doesn't matter.
As if extra is a bad thing.
Yeah,
right?
well, the show becomes great because I was extra, so it's okay.
So it's gonna be like extra, read all about her,
There
right?
you go.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
that's kind of precious, And so, oftentimes, as being an African American female, you're strong, you're beautiful, and you may get, just because of the way you wear your hair, oh, the way you look, your shoes, head to toe, oh, she's extra, right?
Uh-huh.
And so, in your surrounding, even in the medical field, do you ever get frowned upon because of who you are?
I felt that way, but honestly, my husband helped me with that because sometimes I used to feel like, oh, I don't want to wear this.
Yeah.
Because people might feel, and he's like, oh, well, wear it, put it on. Like, you know what I mean? So that, I did used to feel that way. Like, I felt like I had to tone myself down to possibly make people comfortable. But that's not who I am. So this is who I am, and it is what it is. So.
And you say it is what it is until it's something else, right?
Right.
It is what it is until it's something else.
Yeah.
And so you are unique, very unique, beautiful queen.
Thank
and we
you.
so graciously are honored for you to sit right here and talk with us. It's truly a blessing. And so any final words that you can give to those who are inspiring to have a fashion show?
Well, it's a lot of words, but I'll tell you what resonates right now, because I keep reading it when I randomly open my Bible.
Okay, nice.
I'll open it and just see.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's Proverbs 16:3, and it's commit your works to the Lord, and your plans will be achieved.
Nice.
Wow.
So
Beautiful.
I just keep
Thank
remembering
you.
that.
Yes. Commit your works to the Lord, and your plans will be achieved.
Yeah.
And what scripture was that?
Proverbs 16:3.
Proverbs 16:3.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's an honor to sit here with you and just embrace your beauty. It's such an honor.
Yes.
And so next, when we come back, we will be talking about where you're going from here, your future goals. And so I can't wait to hear what you have to say in reference.
Right,
Girl, you gonna tell us the real, you gonna keep it
No, I'm telling you.
Bye-bye. Oh, hey, we're talking, sitting here on the couch talking to Marie Antonette, and we are talking about fashion. We're going to dive a little bit further, and we're going to talk about her future goals. So, I'm sure you have some inspiring things to tell. What do you plan on doing, forward in your fashion business?
Well, I'm going to continue to style, and just so you know, I style men and women.
Oh, cool.
And basically all ages, for
Yes.
the most part. Every now and again, a couple kids, but
Okay.
mainly grown people.
Right.
But I'm working on a jumpsuit collection.
Oh, that's
that I
my
want
favorite.
that I want to launch, and I am in the process of going on a scent journey because I want to launch a fragrance.
Oh, girl.
So,
That's a sweet scent
right.
in the air. Do you smell that?
Right.
And so, with your launch, are you looking for someone to brand something that you like? Are you looking at white label? How are you planning on doing that?
You're talking about for the jumpsuit?
No, first for the smell in the air.
Well, I have a life coach who's helping me with that.
Okay.
So I'm not sure the processes of it, but I know what I like when I smell it. And I feel like fashion and smelling good, you can't just look good and not smell good. It goes together.
Right.
It does. It does.
So I'm working on that. I'm not sure how long the scent journey is going to be, but it will be unisex.
Okay.
And so that's that.
So on the fragrance, the smell. So is it gonna be like teak wood or?
I do like those cedar and woody smells.
Yes.
Yes, I do enjoy that. But I feel like it might end up being just what really inspired. When I realized I really wanted a fragrance, I was washing dishes.
Oh.
And I don't know, just something came over me. I was washing dishes and the hot water and the bubbles. I don't know if it was the dawn.
Yes.
I don't know what happened in that moment. But I'm
Yeah.
like, I need a fragrance. Like, it's something. So I wanted to be right. And I take my time about everything. And
Yes.
And you said you have a life coach. Why have a life coach?
because I be having a lot of things going on. And I want to make sure that I don't know everything, right? So,
Right.
we learn as we go through this thing called life. So, I've had a life coach about a year. His name is Sean. He's absolutely amazing.
Nice.
And he's helped me with balance. See, I'm a Libra.
Okay.
And see, they say that Libras are balanced. But then I heard someone say Libras are in the pursuit of balance, which I think is more accurate because I never really feel balanced. I always feel like all over the place, right? So, so he's
Wait.
helped me
I'm
with
not gonna say this.
Yeah.
You remember that statement I said about I want you to put me under?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to rethink
Not in
that.
that way. It's like with life things. Like
Yes.
you want it. I feel like things come up and happen, but you want to make sure you are handling it the way the best way you can.
Yes.
And to continue to be the best version of yourself.
Mm.
So I feel like that's an investment to have. Like somebody that holds you accountable. Because sometimes people don't like to hear when they're wrong or what they might have done. Right. So that's that. And also they can help you to go ahead and execute those visions that you have. You might think of something, but you may not actually do it, and they hold you accountable for it. Like, go ahead and do it. So by this date, you should have done such and such. Right? Yes. So that's what I mean.
Nice. Okay. Nurse. Okay, that works.
Not in the hospital.
I know, right? Girl. I know you have balance, and you know, and so it's a matter of separating what you do, right? I'm sure you don't take your scrubs to your house, right?
No, well,
or the scrubs to the house. You don't deal with scrubs, right? You don't deal with scrubs.
Oh my God. Right.
And so, tell us about your jumpsuit line.
Well, I'm still working on it right now. I have 4 designs.
Nice.
And hopefully I can launch it out in September.
And do you have everything already lined up to launch it in September?
No. Still working on it.
Nice.
Right.
Really nice. And it's one step forward.
Right.
So even if you have the vision, and it's an amazing thing to invest in yourself. And I ask you that because some people don't want, they're like, I'm keep my money in my pocket, I'm gonna figure it out. But even with that, it's like, are you gonna pay somebody to help you, or are you gonna spend the time? Because it's gonna come out of your pocket or out of your behind.
Right. Right.
So no matter how you put it, it's coming from some.
Some people may feel like, I don't need that. You have some people who feel like they don't need counseling ever.
Right.
So to each his own. But for me, it's been beneficial. And so I would advise it.
I heard you say you wash dishes.
I do.
Do you really wash dishes?
Yes.
So do you wear gloves when you wash dishes?
No.
And the reason I ask because, like self-care, I've been told that you should wear gloves because of your skin drying out. And you're young now, but when you get older, you may not want that.
That's true, but I
But
guess
you're in
it's
the
just
medical
how I
field,
was
right?
raised. My mom would go do the dishes.
Right. And you just
you
go
don't
and
put
do
no
them.
gloves on. You just do the dishes.
Right. Nice. And so future goals. Tell me about your future goals.
So mainly right now, the shorter term future goal would be just having my own designs, my own storefront. And people just wearing my clothes.
Wait, you didn't say storefront.
I did.
You didn't say brick and mortar.
I did.
And
One day.
Yeah, and so that's the beauty because right now we always think of online, purchasing. And Nina just opened up a boutique.
She told me, yes.
And then you're going to open up a boutique would it be a boutique?
But in the future,
Still, by having a life coach, you're going to get there, right?
Right.
And so even when you invest in a life coach, how long do you keep a life coach?
So I actually been working with him for a year, but I think once I have gotten the tools that I needed, because it was a certain set of tools that I needed to start to make sure I'm balancing and responding to situations and not reacting.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now we don't have sessions as frequently.
Okay.
But he's always there when I need him.
Okay.
And
So
so
let me piggyback on that brick and mortar store.
Mm-hmm.
If you're needing any tips on
Yes.
starting out, because when you said maybe in the future you're
Yeah.
gonna have the boutique, you never know, because I thought the same way, and it happened during quarantine pandemic
Really?
time. Yes, it happened like in months.
So quick.
Yeah, very quick.
See,
So
I get scared of that sometimes.
do?
I do.
It happens.
Yeah.
It could
I
happen.
get scared.
So
It's like you have these ideas, and then the worst thing that you can hear is yes. Now
yeah.
you got to do it.
Yeah,
Now you got to
Keep
commit to
moving
it,
forward.
right? Uh-huh.
Yes.
And so it's so nice that you have ideas, you have goals, you have a life coach. Is there anything, any inspiration, any words of wisdom that you can give us when it comes to beauty, when it comes to fashion, when it comes to life?
Well, just self-care, because I think too sometimes as moms, just if you have that maternal thing, and especially with me going into the healthcare field, we always want to take care of everybody else.
Yes.
You got to take care of yourself, because you're no good to nobody. And, we've all heard it before, but it's so true. If you're no good, then you can't take care of anybody else. So you need to take care of yourself.
And so even taking care of self, I saw an Instagram post where you were sleeping like this.
Yeah.
And so that's why I said you
Really?
literally woke up like this.
That's because I got my
Yeah.
makeup done, and I had to sleep in my makeup. So I didn't want to mess it up. So I just...
Oh, girl, you were
Slept.
sleeping pretty. And then that's that term. I woke up like this, literally gorgeous. Yes. And so that's a great point, because sometimes like we will sleep a certain way. So something, whether it's our hair or whether it's our makeup, so that it doesn't get up. And so it is so wonderful to have you on right with us on the couch. We really
Right.
appreciate you
Thank
and
you.
your husband
Yes.
to come to join us. I have had a fabulous time learning more about
Yes,
you.
we have. So tell us, Marie Antoinette, how can people get a hold of you?
I
Thank you.
think the best way is probably through my Instagram, which is Marie Antoinette 929, or my website, which is www.marieantoinette929.com.
So it's Marie Antoinette 929. You've heard it from the nurse, the anesthetist. Anesthetist. Thank you. Help me out, girl.
Yes.
Anesthetist. And that's like almost a tongue twister. But
Yeah.
you have heard it from her. Go to her Instagram page and follow her. And you can see her. She woke up like this.
Yeah.
Yes. And so thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So remember, you can change the fabric of your
journey.
One stitch and one step at a time. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.